Have you heard many stories, mighty friend, about Elijah and the Zaddikim? Did you hear about that story? Yea, from the epistle of the Rav Gaon. In the year 4174. Yea. Where Rav Joseph, the son of Rav Abba, was appointed Nasi in place of Rav Aaron, the son of Rav Samuel the Nasi, in this year 4174. Although Rav Joseph was less learned than Rav Aaron in wisdom and in Torah, because he was very pious, and it was said of him that Elijah the prophet, of blessed memory, used to come and sit with him in the academy. So they made him the Nasi because of Elijah. And there was a story once about, I believe it was on the eve of Passover, Rav Yehuda, the son of Shenior of Spias. Of Spias, did you hear? Came to Rav Yehuda the Hasid on the first Seder. Yeah, the first Seder night. The visitor saw that Rav Yehuda the Hasid was very unhappy. When he asked him why he was so joyous, Rav Yehuda the Hasid was very happy, not unhappy. Forgive me, friends. When he asked him why he was so joyous, he answered that he had seen Elijah reclining with them at the Seder table. Rav Yehuda the Spias was saddened that he had not been found worthy to look upon Elijah. But Rav Yehuda the pious said that Elijah sat nearer to Rav Yehuda of Spias than to him. Nevertheless, the guest did not become calm until Rav Yehuda the Hasid promised him that he would have a place in the world to come, and that he was one of the 3 most righteous men of that generation. Yeah, are there any righteous men left upon the earth? Yeah, mighty Father, I pray you'll protect them always, and that the spirit of Elijah would be sent upon them with each one with a willing vessel inside, filled with your Son's glory, Yahushua, the everlasting glory. Yea. Then in the year 5331, after the Sabbath, on the 25th of Elul, I said one prayer for the unification of the name after midnight, when I arose from my bed, and sleep overcame me. And in my dream, Rav Eva Saba warned me that by the prayer for the unification of the name, which my master and of blessed memory, not my master, but this man's master of blessed memory, composed, that he could achieve whatever he desired by wisdom alone. And he said that he should say this prayer 3 times a day, during the morning prayer, during the afternoon prayer, and at the time of the saying of the Shema in the evening. And while saying it, I should fall down on my face, and in this way that I should achieve what I desired. So on Monday night, the prayer was repeated after midnight, and Rav Yiva Saba said to me, "Why did you not say this prayer 3 times every day as I commanded you? For by this you would achieve complete understanding without limit." Go to Rav Isaac Ashkenazi and ask him how to say the prayer for the unification. And ask him how to say the prayer for the unification 3 times a day. And tell him to speak to me, and I will teach him, and then he will teach you. You know not how great you are considered in the eyes of mighty Yehoshua. For you are a great man, like Rav Akiva and his family, and you can achieve what no man has achieved in your generation, not even your teacher, Isaac Ashkenazi. Yea, hallelujah. And Elijah, the messenger of blessed memory, will speak to you face to face while you are awake. And you know not how much greater than all the men of your generation you are. And may Yehoshua give you sons and wealth, so that you will not depend on others. The following morning, he went up to his teacher and told him the whole story, and he taught him how to say the prayer for the unification of the name. Hallelujah, Jehovah. During the afternoon prayer and at the time of saying Shema Israel in the evening of the first, yea, every day. Now in the 14th year, a certain man, whose name was Rav Abba, came from Assyria to Safed, and he asked concerning me. And people told him that I was in Jerusalem. And he told them the following story. From there he traveled to Jerusalem and came to my house. On seeing me, he kissed my hands and feet and said, "Before I left Assyria, a certain wise old man, whose name I have forgotten, commanded me to greet you in his name. He is a very pious man who lives in solitude and refuses to see men, and Elijah of blessed memory is often with him. He tells you that all that you master, Rav Isaac Ashkenazi, told you concerning your life and a future transmitigation is true. And do not lose hope, for everything will come about. And if you knew the greatness of your soul, brother, you would be terrified. Therefore, do not take lightly the words of your master. Yea, your wise master builder hidden deep inside your heart and mind. For a great good will come to Israel through you. Though you be little in your own sight, you are head of the tribes. Why aren't you the head of all the tribes of Israel? All of his life he desires to see your face, but his strength has failed him, for he is old and full of years. Oh, refresh each one, mighty Father. Yeah, let the mighty men of valor still purposefully living in this age for your will to be named upon their heads and flow as honey from their lips and a flaming fire from their tongues. Eyes fully opened. Yeah, how we've all been mistreated. Yeah, since way back a long time ago. The disciples of the Baal, or is it Baal? What is it? I don't know these things. I'll never seek to know them. But there is this man, this Shem Tov, who puts this Baal name in front of him. Baal Shem Tov. Asked their master to show them Elijah. Yeah. A Mashiach. Pray to the Mashiach to come and reveal himself in the word everlasting. Elijah is but a willing vessel of the divine presence, a wanting like a bee upon the hive. After some days, the Baal Shem Tov came to the Beit HaMidrash to look for a certain book, but he could not find it. Then his disciples said to him, "With our own eyes we saw a certain poor man sitting here a short while ago, and he was studying this book. And afterwards he got up and went." The Baal Shem Tov ordered his disciples to go out into the street and to look for the old man there. They went and found him with the book under his coat. They rebuked him, saying, "Shame on you, an old man who comes to the Beit HaMidrash and steals a book. Who has ever heard of such a thing?" Passers-by saw what was going on and fell upon the old man and beat him At that moment, the Baal Shem Tov appeared and delivered him from their hands. It once happened that at the Brit, in which the Baal Shem Tov and his disciples participated, a stranger was caught leaving the house with a silver spoon in his hand. Many of those present wished to beat him, because they saw that he resembled the poor man, who had stolen that other book from the Beit HaMidrash. This time, too, the Baal Shem Tov delivered him from the men who wished to beat him. Have you heard a story like this before? Now, many days later, the Baal Shem Tov and his disciples were walking in the field. Suddenly, they came upon a soldier riding on a horse. He was girt with a sword, and his pipe was in his mouth. And he asked them for a light for his pipe. When he had the light, he turned to the Baal Shem and asked, "And you, Israelka, how are you?" "Thanks be to everlasting," answered the Baal Shem Tov. Then the soldier alighted from his horse, embraced the Baal Shem Tov, and kissed him. Then he mounted his horse again and quickly rode away and was seen no more. The Baal Shem Tov said to his disciples, "This is the third time that Elijah has shown himself to you. Once in the form of the book thief. Once he stole a silver spoon. And this time in the form of a soldier. Hallelujah, Jehovah, and the everlasting glory in our hearts. Yehoshua, yea, the anointed Son of everlasting glory upon the earth, our King. Yea, we are priests in his kingdom, not our own. And as the Father has loved him and gives him all things, he loves us and gives us all the Father has given him. Another time, the disciples of the Baal Shem Tov asked him again to show them Elijah the prophet. They begged him repeatedly until once he promised to fulfill their wish. On one occasion, he went with his disciples to welcome the Sabbath. It was his custom to go out into the fields every Friday while the sun was still high, and there he would welcome the Sabbath and teach his disciples Torah. Suddenly, the Besht said, "I would like to smoke a pipe." His disciples scattered in all directions. Peradventure, they would find a man smoking and would ask him to lend his pipe for a short time so that the best might smoke. But they did not meet anyone on the way and returned to their master empty-handed. Then the best rose to his full height and said, Over there I can see a Polish nobleman walking along. Go and meet him. Perhaps he has a pipe and will lend it to you." The disciples went towards him and asked him if he had a pipe. He answered that indeed he had. They asked him to lend them the pipe, but he answered that he would himself go to this man and give him the pipe. Their teacher, the Rav, the best man. The nobleman went after them, himself took the pipe there, put tobacco in it, rubbed two flints together to get a light, and gave it to the best man who smoked the pipe. The Baal Shem Tov, that best man, asked him about the yield of that year, whether it had spread over the earth and whether there had been much grain at the time of the threshing, and other questions, of an agricultural nature. The disciples did not turn towards the nobleman during this conversation and did not speak to him, but repeated the words of the Torah that the Baal Shem Tov had spoken to them, so that they should know them well. Afterwards, that teacher bade the nobleman farewell, and he went on his way. "Now I have kept my promise to you, for I have shown you Elijah the prophet." All the disciples were amazed and asked, "Why did our master not tell us that he was Elijah? We would have asked him to teach us." The Baal Shem Tov replied in this way, "Mighty friend, if you had understand, if you would have just stood and understood of yourselves and would have asked who he was, the Baal Shem Tov would have disclosed it to you. But since you do not understand, I was not permitted to reveal it to you. But I will tell you what we spoke about. When I asked him if the corn spread over the earth, I meant that the people of Israel roused themselves to the service of Mighty Yehovah. And when I asked him if the corn gives many grains, I meant had the Holy One, Yehoshua, blessed be he, given of his plenty to the house of Israel. But the reply he gave me, I cannot relate to you. You must be his disciple to receive the knowledge of the glory. For the glory in the wrong hands could destroy the whole earth.